First person I had ever met who marveled at the design of the pain system in the human body. But he would say, thank God for pain. If there's only one gift that I could give my leprosy patients, it would be the gift of pain.
The gift of pain. The discoveries and insights of a surgeon to lepers, Dr. Paul Brand, on this day of discovery.
I think it's fair to say that I went to India with the feeling that there was a lot of suffering there. And I was going to India in the name of Jesus Christ to help relieve human suffering, where there were no doctors and very little pain medication. But when I went there, one of the early things that I experienced was to see beggars along the side of the street and outside the temples, people with no fingers on their hands, blind, with feet that were either grossly ulcerated and covered with flies or amputated. And I asked people, what are those? What are those people? Oh, they said they've got leprosy. Leprosy? I'd never thought about leprosy.
God was saying to him, this is why I brought you to India. And he began to get a tingling feeling. The Lord was really speaking to him, not out loud, but in his mind, so strongly. This is what you've got to do. You've got to find the answers.
Along with his wife, Margaret, who became an expert in ocular leprosy, Dr. Brand spearheaded several medical breakthroughs in the treatment of leprosy. Using his skills as an orthopedic surgeon and carpenter, he reconstructed limbs destroyed by the debilitating effects of leprosy. Leprosy destroys the surface nerves in the hands, feet, and face, numbing them in the process. Not sensing any pain, leprosy sufferers lack the recoil instinct that pain causes in the rest of us. As a result, they destroy their own limbs through unintentional but constant abuse.
They're some of the saddest, most miserable people I've ever met because they have no warning system and they are literally destroying themselves. They can't hear that language of pain anymore.
Philip Yancey and Paul Brand wrote the book The Gift of Pain, based on Dr. Brand's life and his work with leprosy patients. He believed pain should be embraced for what it is, the body's most significant trauma alert system.
And Dr. Brand revolutionized that way of thinking for me. He helped me to see that pain is not a great mistake, that pain is rather a language that our body uses to get our attention about something that we'd rather not pay attention to.
Dr. Brand encourages us to listen to our pain. It may be trying to tell us that we're afflicting our ears with loudness, our stomachs with unhealthy food, and our lungs with pollutants. Many often wonder why we have to suffer pain. Couldn't God have created us without it?
But I ask that person whether he would like to be free from the possibility of pain in exchange for the loss of his free will. If every time he was going to move into a dangerous situation, he found that he was paralyzed and he could only move his legs in another direction, that God controlled everything he did and everything he thought, that would make possible a pain-free life. I have never found anybody who feels that in exchange for the gift of free will, he would accept the gift of painlessness. One of the things that worries me about pain is that Christians, I think, often suffer more from pain, from a given amount of pain, than an unbeliever does. Because an unbeliever knows that it's just something that's happened to him, and he accepts that this is too bad, and he must try and get cured or get rid of it. But a Christian often, traditionally, thinks, why has this happened to me? Why did God choose me to have this terrible terminal illness, this cancer? with so much pain? What have I done? The word pain comes from a root concept of punishment. And that's how Christians often think of this, that God has sent this to me either to test my faith or to because I haven't been behaving the way I should. And I believe that this isn't the right way to look at it. So often Christian teachers and preachers concentrate on the wickedness and on the wrong and on the failings and say that you must do better. But the central truth of God is love.
When bad things happen, followers of Jesus often ask the question, why me? For help, they typically quote from Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to them that love God, believing that God alone will work out the problem, even though it appears hopeless.
And that conveys the idea things work for good because I love God. In other words, if I'm going on a picnic, it won't rain. But if I want my garden to grow, it will rain. Because I believe God, and I trust Him and pray, and therefore God sends. But Jesus said that God, in His love for the world, He makes His rain to rain on the just and on the unjust. And He makes His sun to shine on the righteous and on the unrighteous. But the real meaning of that text is brought out in some of the modern translations. And it suggests, it writes it this way: in everything that happens, God is working for good with those who love Him. In all things, God works with me for good. You know, we use a word in science called synergism. Synergism refers to two forces or two activities that work together and together produce a result which is better than the sum of what they could do separately. If I trip on something and fall and break my nose and have a lot of pain, I don't say, why me, Lord? I say, look what's happened, God. Look what's happened. What are we going to do about it?